Right, hello guys, welcome back to Analysing Arsenal, and I know that we have just made it into the last 16 of the Europa League, and that is a positive thing, and you know, that was the objective that we were looking to achieve, and obviously, you know, we want to get back into the Champions League. In my opinion, the only road and the only way we're going to get back into the Champions League is by winning the Europa League, because if you look at our league position, I don't think there's a hope in hell's chance that we're going to get into the Champions League for finishing in the top four. I think that ship has well and truly sailed, so this competition is basically all we've really got to play for this season, that and the Carabao Cup final on Sunday, and you know, getting into the last 16 is what we wanted, and I'm happy with that. And you know, it's good in the end that Arsenal have managed to get into the last 16 and you know, get past Östersund as the opposition. And there is going to be ranting and raving in this video, and primarily the ranting and raving comes from what I've just seen. You know, that 90-minute spectacle of absolute shit that I've just seen at the Emirates in the second leg between Arsenal and Östersund in the Europa League round of 32. And basically, just what I'm about to say, you know, the fact that we have, you know, won over 2 legs and got into the last 16 and beaten Östersund is relevant. You know, I'll talk about that at the end of the video and talk about, you know, my thoughts and feelings to actually getting into the last 16. What I'm about to say in kind of the next 5 to 10 minutes is simply because of what I've just seen between the two sides at the Emirates, and that is the reason why I'm saying it. You know, I am grateful that we've got into the Europa League last 16, but I'm saying it primarily to what I've just seen. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I can't believe what I've just seen. I'm speechless. As you can see, I am fucking speechless. That is astounding. I am absolutely flabbergasted with what I've just seen. I mean, Arsenal are shit. Arsenal are just basically, they're shit. They're absolutely shit. And I apologise for using foul language. I am fuming. I am shaking with what I have just seen. That was an embarrassment. I'm sickened by Arsenal Football Club. I can't believe what I have just seen, okay? We have just lost at home at the Emirates to Östersund. Östersund, okay? They have senior players, right? Let me just put it into context, right, of why this is so, you know, and why I'm so, you know, fuming and angry at what I've just seen, right? You know, the senior players in the Östersund side are by day are their postmen and their, you know, their jobs, which, you know, you would expect, like plumbers. They're plumbers and postmen by day, and they play football for Östersund's team. They're on wages, right, of 2,000, I think it's either the Swedish currency, right, so actually I think it's euros. So they're on 2,000 euros a month. Not a week, a month, right? That is like a third of what all of those Arsenal players are earning right now tonight, right? You know, they, I mean, it's an absolute joke, right? It's a farce, you know, and credit to Östersund, right? They have played 110% tonight. They have put in everything from minute 1 to minute 90. They have absolutely just, you know, they've been outstanding, you know, and you've got to give serious, you know, praise and respect to not just their manager, but all of those players went out there and they had nothing to lose, you know, at 3-0, they just went out there and thought that they could just, you know, they're going to put 110% into it and see what happened, and credit to them. They absolutely blitzed it tonight, and they should be the ones going through. You know, they really should be. They shouldn't have gone out tonight, and I know the damage was already done in the first leg, but they were absolutely, they were superb, okay? You know, and Arsenal, what were the players doing? You know, every single one of those players should be absolutely fucking ashamed. They should be fucking ashamed of what they've done, okay, tonight. Because how dare they, and how can they think, and how unprofessional is it to just presume that you can just go out onto the field and just make up the numbers and not put in any effort? Those Arsenal players in that first half put in not 1 ounce of effort whatsoever. No effort whatsoever. They just thought that they could turn up and just ride through the motions and just, you know, Östersund, well, it's little old Östersund, what they're going to do? Absolutely nothing. And, you know, they should have won. You know, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't care, as I said, I don't care that we've made it into the last 16. That is an absolute embarrassment to lose at home to, you know, Östersund. I mean, you know, Östersund's pre-match, how they train and prepare for matches, they don't do vigorous training exercises. They play ballet and they read books. Yeah, I know. They play ballet, they read books. By day, they're postmen and plumbers. And they've just done that. They've just beaten Arsenal, one of the top English sides, and they've beaten them. I mean, just, you know, and, I mean, I don't understand, right, you know, footballers' mentality. You know, Arsenal are on wages of, you know, 200, 300k a week, right? Arsene Wenger put out a reasonably strong side, right? And on the bench, obviously, he didn't have major reinforcements, obviously, because of the Carabao Cup final game on Sunday that we've got against Manchester City. You know, the likes of, you know, Koscielny, Mustafi are rested. You know, there's Mesut Ozil who's ruled out through illness. You know, Aubameyang can't feature. But Arsene Wenger played, you know, what he has been doing in the Europa League, and it has been working, a mixture of experience and youth, right? And, you know, I wouldn't have been surprised if he put out even more youngsters, because, you know, last Thursday when I was talking about the game that we saw over in Sweden, I said there's not a hope in hell's chance that Austin are going to get anything out of this game, right? And what a dick I was. But, you know, it's understandable, because who in their right mind would have thought that Austin would have had and been in touching distance of actually knocking Arsenal out? You know, generally, who would have thought that? Nobody would have thought that. You know, so I wouldn't have been surprised if Arsene Wenger had put out, you know, even a weakened side than he already did. But Bellerin is our first choice right back. Kolašinac actually is probably our first choice left back, although Nacho Monreal has been absolutely, you know, exceptional. I prefer personally Kolašinac, although Monreal has been absolutely exceptional this season. But, you know, Chambers is holding. You know, Chambers has got experience. Holding is still growing and looking to try and get better and better and better. Mohamed Elneny's got experience. Maitland-Niles is one of the, you know, youth players. But you've got Mkhitaryan and Wilshere have got experience. Alex Iwobi, who is a youngster, and Danny Welbeck, who should be performing. And they got rolled over by Östersund. It was absolutely unbelievable. The game started and it was just a pile of piss. You know, and it was just, you know, shit. And a pile of piss in terms, it was an absolutely shit game of football to watch. There was nothing. The first kind of 20 minutes, there were warning signs for Austin. They got into some decent chances. They created some decent opportunities. But, you know, I thought it was just going to be one of those games that was going to peter out and it was going to be nothing, right? And then, in the space of 2 minutes, you know, an own goal from Callum Chambers, who just allows, I think it was Hopcut, to run down the right hand side. He turns in and goes for the shot. Chambers gets the deflection. I think it was going in anyway. And then, you know, a minute later, we concede another goal through Suma. And, like, defensively, what the fuck? Inept, considerably. Chambers and Holding are about 15 yards apart. Ospina's positional play is border on a joke. And just, I mean, I really felt that we were going to lose, right? We go 2-0 down, right? And from being 3-0 up and in dreamland and cruise control, it's suddenly 3-2. And had Östersund kept up that intensity levels and actually managed to, you know, make another couple of decent chances, we kind of started, I mean, we were absolutely all over the shop in the first 45 minutes. But had they managed to conjure up a couple of decent chances, had it got to 3-3, I would have been convinced that we would have lost that game tonight generally. If Östersund had scored that penalty that they got in the dying seconds of the first leg in Sweden last Thursday, I think over, I mean, you know, the first leg was, I said, a very, very odd and strange game. Östersund had a couple of decent opportunities. We absolutely steamrolled them the first 20-25 minutes. I generally thought it was going to be one of those games that would finish 6 or 7-0, but, you know, at 3-0, you just expected Arsenal to, you know, see out the game, maybe create a couple of decent opportunities, and, you know, I thought it was going to be a relatively tight and cagey affair, and probably quite a boring affair. And, you know, Östersund rolled up and Arsenal couldn't stomach it. And they simply went out onto the pitch and just thought that they were going to, you know, not put in 1 ounce of effort and get a win. Sorry, doesn't work like that. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You're footballers that are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money. You've got a manager who's getting paid a shed load of money, and you can't beat Östersund at home. An embarrassment, absolute embarrassment. Like, just every single one of those players should be ashamed. I'm ashamed to be an Arsenal fan, and you know, if we, I mean, obviously the Carabao Cup final game on Sunday, we're going to play, you know, completely our strongest team, and you know, and obviously the Premier League, we're going to bring back some of our big guns. But if Arsene Wenger picks that same lineup in the last 16, whoever we get in as the draw takes place tomorrow, whoever we get, if we play like that again, we are going to get absolutely battered, right? And there are some tough opponents in the Europa League last 16. We are not going to win the Europa League. We're not going to get anywhere near to the final playing like that. Absolutely shocking. If you go into a second leg when you've got a couple of goals, you know, racked up and put in, you know, the basket, and you've banked a couple of goals, and, you know, you're looking like you're going to easily steamroll it, you still got to put in 110%. You've got to play like it's 0-0. And to not play like that and play like, you know, oh, the tie's over, we're not going to do anything. It's a little old Austin, what they're going to do. It's just unforgivable. Unforgivable. And had Arsenal gone out tonight, I'd want Arsene Wenger to resign and leave there and then. And luckily, I think he put an absolute rocket up there after the second half because they came out. Kolašinac got a decent chance, and a simple Östersund mistake gets us the goal. But Östersund were the far better team. They had a couple that made some really good, decent opportunities. And on another night, this could have been embarrassing, right? And it's not good enough. It's not good enough whatsoever. And what hurts me the most is what I've seen is seeing footballers who are getting paid shitload of money and not performing. You know, they're not performing to the money that they're paid for. And that is, you know, disastrous. I mean, just how you can just roll over like that is, it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous, okay? The only positive that I can take out of tonight is that we're through to the last 16, and what we did in the first leg was just enough. But you look over the two legs, you can make a really case and a compelling argument that we should not be in the last 16. It should be Östersund. You know, they should be into the last 16. We weren't good enough. We weren't. We were absolutely, you know, there were moments in the first leg where we were awful. Over the 90 minutes, we weren't good enough whatsoever. And Östersund thoroughly deserve that when they can go back and their manager can go back with his head held high, and those players, every single one of those Östersund players can go back to Sweden with knowledge that they played absolutely brilliantly. They played 110%. Every single one of those players gave everything that they could and even more, right? And in the end, they go out, but they go out victorious, right? As for Arsenal, we have to seriously look at some of the players we've got. Danny Welbeck, not good enough. Had so many opportunities, couldn't convert them, not good enough. Alex Iwobi, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's awful. Right, I'm sorry, he's not good enough. Jack Wilshere was decent. Probably our only good player tonight. Henrik Mkhitaryan, what was he doing? Absolutely awful. You know, a performance like that from Henrik Mkhitaryan showed why Manchester United and Jose Mourinho sold him. Wasn't good enough. El Neni, not good enough. Maitland-Niles is still growing and still expanding. Understandable. It will come with time and experience. He needs the experienced players to grab him around the scruff of the net and actually help him out. He was in no man's land. He was on his own. And for a youngster like that, you need to help him. You need to support him. Kolašinac, I actually think on his day is decent. As is Bellerin. But Chambers, not good enough. Why is he still at the club? Rob Holding, again, will come with experience. And actually also, I think even though David Ospina's positional play for the second goal was absolutely just fucking awful, I still think he was, you know, is a decent goalkeeper on his day, right? But there's just so much dead wood that we've got to get out of the club. And, you know, like as for Danny Welbeck, you know, with Alexandre Lacazette injured, he's got a big part to play. And if he continues to play like that, the goals aren't going to come. You know, and what's concerning is that there are some big names in the Europa League still. You know, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan. We come up against one of those and play like that, we're going to get absolutely ripped apart. It's going to be like Bayern all over again. And as I said, this is our only route into the Champions League. And if we, you know, fuck it up like we almost did tonight, we're going to be here next season. You know, you can forget and kiss, you know, Champions League goodbye because, you know, at this particular moment, playing like that, and if Arsene Wenger doesn't play his strongest team, you know, when we come up against the big boys, which I'm 99% sure that he will, we're going to get absolutely ripped to shreds. And, you know, a performance like that does not give me any encouragement or confidence, you know. And I'm just, you know, that result has ruined, you know, just the whole two legs, right? All of the good stuff that we did over those two legs has been ruined by that performance. And on that magnitude and the magnitude of how we played, we don't deserve to be in the last 16, okay? We are in the last 16 and that is a positive. Hopefully we can get a decent tie because honestly, if we get one of the big boys, you know, like an Atletico Madrid, like an AC Milan, we're out. We're out at this particular moment. You know, Arsene Wenger's got to play strongest lineup, and the problem is Lacazette's out injured. Aubameyang is cup tied because he played for Dortmund, even though Dortmund are already out. You know, it's not looking good, right? It's not looking good for Arsenal, and we really need to shape up a motor. And in the summer, we need to really seriously look at the players we've got and actually sort out, you know, the weak from the chaff, and all of the deadwood and all of the shit players just fuck off because you're not good enough. And, you know, I don't know. I'm angry. I'm angry and I'm hurting that performance. The only positive is that we've got, you know, a place in the last 16 of the Europa League. Hopefully we get a decent opposition and we move on to the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. And I will do a preview of the Carabao Cup final and I'll talk about what I'm thinking about that game. Obviously then we've got Manchester City in the league and I'll be talking about that. But just from tonight, I just want to turn this camera off because obviously I'm just going to, you know, waffle on about how shit Arsenal, because I'm I'm angry. The only reason I'm not screaming and shouting is because it's, you know, it's 10:30 at night, and, you know, the rest of the DJ Bagpuss household is sleeping, so I can't do that. But as I said, the only positive is that we're into the last 16 of the Europa League, but other than that, there is not a positive from tonight, because we were absolutely woeful, and I'm embarrassed to wear this shirt tonight. And also, what the hell, why are we wearing our blue shirt when we're at home? Like, apparently UEFA said that there was going to be a clash between Östersund, who are playing in white, and Arsenal playing in the red and white. Like, I don't know, that was just weird to be in a position of seeing Arsenal at home not wearing red. I don't get that, but that was the least of my concerns. The major concern was I really thought we were going to throw away a 3-goal lead and become, you know, even bigger laughing stocks than we already are. So, I don't know. I will also, during the Carabao Cup final preview, I will quickly give my reaction. Also, I might give my reaction out on my Twitter, so make sure you follow me on Twitter at @JustBagpuss998, and you can hear what I have to say about who we get in the Europa League draw tomorrow. The draw to the Europa League last 16 is tomorrow at 12 noon, which is UK time. It might be different for people who are watching it. And my last point I want to leave before I leave you guys for analysing Arsenal today is, well done, Östersund, and you can go back to Sweden with all of the accolades and praises, because you absolutely smashed it. And, you know, just like Iceland in the Euros against England, you know, once again we're seeing these underdog teams come to English, you know, soil and absolutely, you know, rewrite the big headlines. And, you know, good luck to Östersund, whatever they do between now and the end of the season, because tonight they are the real winners. Even though we've won over 2 legs, Östersund are the real winners. So, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, check out my other great content as well, and I will rejoin you for the Carabao Cup final 2018 preview between Arsenal and Manchester City. I will also, as I said, give you my brief thoughts and feelings to who we get in the Europa League draw, and yeah, we move on to Wembley, and hopefully we can, you know, forget and just, you know, put this absolutely shit dire result to the back of our minds, you know, a night that Arsenal really want to forget, and hopefully we can get back to winning ways with the big trophy that we are looking to try and get on Sunday. But if we play, and if the starting 11 that is going to come back to that Carabao Cup final, if they play like that against Manchester City, Jesus Christ, we're going to get absolutely ripped apart. Take care, see you later.